Now we come to number 5 in our series on rest in Christ. This one's entitled, quote, "Come to me." And that's what we're looking at, the words of Jesus, particularly there in Matthew chapter 11, where he comments that those local villages and towns where he preached, they rejected him, and in that situation their rejection is more serious even than Tyre, Sidon and Sodom. You think about what that would mean, especially in that context, when he's inviting people to come to him and find rest in him. And what does he really mean by rest? He means satisfaction in life, the assurance of salvation, the recognition that you are right with God, and all those kinds of things. It's not simply to say you don't have to work anymore or anything like that. He's simply saying this is where you find true rest, restoration, healing, recharging your soul, whatever words you want to use. This is what he's inviting you to do. And you remember how tragic it was when he made that triumphant entry into Jerusalem, and he comments, "Jerusalem, Jerusalem," and he weeps over the city because he says, "I'm like a mother hen wanting to gather the chicks, my chicks, under my wings for protection, safety, rest, but you didn't want to know." And that is the tragedy of so often Jesus' words there, that people rejected him. He said, "Blessed those who are kind, because they will own the whole world." And in Galatians 5, Paul tells us that Jesus sets us free to be able to come to him to experience God's healing salvation. This isn't all about removing the sin or dealing with the guilt. It's healing us from our sinful nature. And that is far more significant. Sometimes we come and say, "I just want to have that sin removed," as if we can go back and erase it. No, what's done is done, as we say. But God can heal us of those tendencies and even the consequences, because we don't have to live like that. Sin pays this terrible wage of death, but the gift of God, accepted right now, is salvation through Jesus. And so that's where we want to go as we think about this week, as you study and as you participate in your classes. Think about what it really means when Jesus says, "Come to me." He's inviting, "Come to me. My burden is light. My yoke is not heavy. I'm not imposing things upon you. I'm inviting you to come and experience the love that is there in God, in me, the workings of the Spirit." The Godhead is equally involved in our salvation and in answering all the issues in the great controversy. We need to think about that, because it's not simply giving rest to us here and now. It's restoring harmony throughout the universe, a rest that is restoration there as well. It is applying to all the thinking beings, the angels, all who know God will see and experience that wonderful rest of redemption. Sometimes people say, "Well, you can't talk about that for people who haven't fallen." I think we can, because they also need to know that God can be trusted, that he's a trustworthy individual, and this has been demonstrated through his dealings with Lucifer, with his dealings with Adam and Eve, and everybody throughout history, that God truly does love, even those who don't want to know, even those who rejected Jesus. God still loved them. Even Judas is treated wonderfully well by Jesus, even though he knows that Judas is eventually going to betray him. So there we have a wonderful illustration of the kind of person God really is, as he seeks to bring about resolution to what has gone wrong in his universe. May we be part of that answer, and may we be his witnesses, is my prayer.